Hey everybody, it's Chuck Jackson again with Hardcore Leadership Training. I'm a John Maxwell Certified Speech Coach and Trainer, and in this series most of these laws are going to be in 2 or 3 parts. This is the second part of the Law of the Lid. On my blog you're going to be able to see a link where you can put in your name and email address, and it'll take you to a page where you can download a worksheet for this lesson. So let's get started. Remember, the law of the lid was a person's ability on how effective they were, right? Leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. And we talked about no other law is more important, but you'll only go as far as your lid will allow you. So in this part 2, we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do to recognize where your lid is and how you can begin to raise it. Now all this is a simple law. All the other 20 laws that we're going to be covering are built upon this. And please remember, at no time has a person or a business exceeded their leadership potential. And remember, we made a definition of defining difference between leadership and management. So let's take a look at the second part. The second part starts out with the 21 qualities of a leader. Now this is an awesome exercise. I advise you to do it yourself, and you can have even friends and family do it, depending on how vulnerable you want to become. I really suggest on finding some people whose decisions and ability that you trust, so you can have them rate you on these different fields. So what you're going to do is you're going to rate yourself between a 1 and a 10 on each of these qualities of a leader. And then once you get that final score, you can divide it by 21. And that'll tell you approximately where you rate yourself, or if you have a friend or a family member or a business associate rate you. That'll tell you where they see you on a leadership scale. So we're going to go through these a little bit. Some of them are self-defining, but a couple of them I want to make sure that I define them for you so you can see what we're talking about. The first one on here, let me get my pen up. First one on here is character. And that just did not do what I wanted it to do. So character. What is character? So you can either have no character, you can have bad character, or you can have good character. All character means is that your words and your actions are congruent. Are your words and actions congruent? Now that could be for good, that could be for bad, or maybe you say you're going to do a lot of stuff and you don't do anything. So character, are your words and your actions congruent? Second quality we're going to take a look at is charisma. Charisma, I think, is one word that's really misunderstood. What I see there is people always think it's, you're born with it. It's a personality. No. Charisma is a trait. It's not a personality or a certain personality. Really, charisma comes from those people who intentionally put other people first in their life. You put them first in actions, and you put them first in deeds and in thought. Really, you make it about them and not about you. You make it about where they are, not where you are. The minute you get out of yourself and focus on others is the minute you start having charisma. Remember, it's not a personality. Charisma is a focus. So go ahead and rate yourself between 1 and 10 there. Commitment. How committed are you? Do you have follow through? You can really see this commitment and really self-discipline. When all the emotion's gone, Do you still have the resolve? Do you still have the grit to follow through? Communication. I've seen excellent communicators that weren't necessarily brilliant or didn't speak eloquently. It's, can you get your thoughts and your ideas across? So that is communication. Rate yourself between 1 and 10 on that. Competence. How competent are you in your skill set? And where are you going with that? So rate yourself between 1 and 10 on your competence level in your current job, and you know if you're competent or not, and for sure your direct reports know, and your boss probably knows. Courage. Do you have the courage to do the right thing? Do you have the courage to put yourself out there, to be vulnerable? You know, leaders have to wear their hearts on the sleeves. They have to have courage to make hard choices. You can see that sometimes the hard choice is when you hire somebody, and sometimes it's when you fire somebody. Do you have the courage to do what's needed in order to get that mission accomplished? Discernment. Discernment's a pretty interesting word, really. You got I don't know if you've ever seen Simon Sinek, where he talks about discover your why, and he talks about the limbic brain. You know, leaders, as we go through these 21 laws, you'll see that a lot of leaders only make decisions based on about 40 to 50%. Sometimes only 80% of the available data in it. You know, a leader can sense when things need a course correction in various aspects of their leadership or their company. You know, as I write my blog, I see and I sense. Yes, there's data out there, but you know, sometimes you just sense when things, I need to tweak my blog a little bit, or I need to put more emphasis or focus on this. That's discernment. And that brings us to focus. I just mentioned that. Focus, or, you know, do you have adult ADD, really? I mean, that's what it comes down to. I'm not knocking that, you know, ADD or ADHD. That's not my point. My point is, can you remain on task? Can you sit down and keep yourself on task for extended periods of time? It's no secret I do network marketing with 2 different companies. Actually, I use one company to promote the other. And what I see is, you know, people write a blog post, or maybe they'll be in it for 2 or 3 months, but they just don't have the focus to keep on going. So they keep on trying, or they, you know, they believe in network marketing, they understand it, and they see it as a viable business, and they just jump from one network marketing company to another network marketing company to another network marketing company. They don't have the focus to remain on task and work through problems that come up on this roller coaster ride we call life. Generosity. You know, are you a generous person? And that really comes back to do you have an abundance mindset? Do you buy into all the, oh, woe is me, and, you know, the job market's so terrible and business is so terrible? And do you have a scarcity mindset, or do you have a generous mindset? And that usually people who are generous also have charisma, because you give of your time, talent, and energy to other people. Can you take initiative? It's one of my favorite leadership traits in the Marine Corps, is initiative. Do you see things? You know, it's I heard it explained once as the Kool-Aid on the floor. You know, if there's some spilled Kool-Aid on the floor in your house, do you just walk past it, or do you stop, grab a paper towel, and wipe it up? I mean, really, that's what initiative boils down to. Do you see something that needs to be solved, a problem, a situation, an issue, and do you take initiative to solve it? Listening, don't ask my wife on that one. Listening, do you listen to other people? Do you take time to listen to other people? Passion, do you have a passion for what you're doing? If you don't, then get out of it. Darren Hardy has a good book called Roller Coaster Ride, where he talks about the 4 switches of passion. Positive attitude. Are you a Debbie Downer, or do you have a positive attitude? Problem solving. Do you like getting into problems and solving them, or do you freak out like Chicken Little? Relationships, can you build relationships and keep them? It takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort. Responsibility. When you see things, do you claim it as your fault, or do you try to push that on somebody else? Oh, it's the economy, it's this person, it's that person. It's never your fault. Those people who do not take responsibility for their lives usually don't amount to much. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. You got to take 100% responsibility for your life. Even when it seems like you shouldn't, you got to. Security, are you secure in yourself? Are you secure in your decisions and your abilities? It kind of goes with self-confidence, right? Self-discipline. Are you disciplined? Self-discipline means you wake up on Sunday morning and you do a video blog, even though the snow's passed and the sun's out. Do you have self-discipline? Servanthood. It goes after the servant leader mindset. There's an outstanding book. I'm looking for it on my bookshelf so I can. But the book's called The Way of the Shepherd. Outstanding book on servant leadership. Are you there to serve people, or are you there to be served? That's what it boils down to. If you're going to succeed in life, you're going to have to serve other people. Teachability or coachability. Can you be taught, or are you the end of wisdom? Can you be taught? And last but not least is vision. Can you set up a vision for yourself? Can you sit there and peer 4 miles down the road? Vision. Do you have vision? So those are the 21 qualities. So you just rate yourself between a 1 and a 10, and then for each of these, and then you take that number, whatever it is, and you divide it by 21, and that is where your lid currently is at. And do this with friends, family. Do it with people so you can see and get an accurate representation of where your leadership lid is. Teachability, right? And then work on these weak areas that you have in your life to bring your lid up and make these other areas where you're strong even stronger. Sounds simple, hard to do, takes a lot of self-discipline. So after you do all these evaluations and everything else like that, you're going to be amazed at how far and how fast you grow in life, and the compound effect that comes in underneath that. So some other things you can do to raise your lid: value experience with reflection, invest in training tools, mentorship or coaching, find a coach or a mentor. Focus on a mastermind. Do something beyond yourself. Volunteer for something. Reflect on who's been a lid lifter in your life. What characteristics make them a lid lifter? And make a stop doing list. Oh, so important. Just make a list. Hey, you know what? I'm going to stop doing. I'm going to stop watching TV 4 hours a night, or whatever that list is. So what you can do next is enter your name and email to the resource sign up. It's on my blog. Download the PDF for this lesson. Go out and buy the book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership from John Maxwell, and read ahead in the book and prepare to apply these things. So thanks for your time, energy, and effort in this, and we'll see you on the next lesson.